Hi, this is Mahindraj. Welcome back to another coaching mini insight. As you can see, I'm on the beach. It's windy. I'm having a bad hair day. That's okay. You're here for the insight, not for my good looks, right? So today's video is, I think, super important. It took me only about, 20 years to figure this out. And it's interesting because it came up on a coaching call about an hour ago with a client, and ironically right after that call I went for lunch and put on a video of a guy I follow, and maybe you've heard of him, I've mentioned him. If you're a coaching client, you know I've mentioned him. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk, and he was speaking about the same thing, right? So the topic of the video is do your own thing, right? Do your own thing. Do what makes you happy. And the distinction here is basically, or the situation, right? Let's say the situation. The situation is, 90%, 95% of the time, 95% of the clients I coach come to coaching with some kind of big goal, right? That's the whole starting point. That's the impetus for them to even hire a coach. Like, they have some big goal, which they want some accountability around, right, to achieve, or maybe they don't know how to achieve it, so they want the coach to guide them and help them, or whatever the situation is. And so they have some big goal, and most of the time, not all the time, but let's say 80% of that time, there's usually some big financial goal in there. They want to achieve some financial figure that in their mind is going to change their life. In their mind is going to get them out of that fucking job they're in, that they're not happy in, or it's going to change their life situation in whatever way, and the belief and they think that the purpose, the why for achieving that money is to basically make them happier, right? They want to be happier, and they want to change their life with their money. So many people come to coaching with that kind of goal, and what happens very often is a couple of things. They have these unrealistic timelines to achieve that. Now, when I say unrealistic timelines to achieve that goal, that money, or whatever it is that goal is, usually it's money, I don't mean that I don't believe you can't do it, right? Like, okay, I want to make $1 million in a year. You're making maybe 100,000 in a year, and you want to make a million in a year. I don't think it's impossible. I think you have the potential. I think everyone has the potential. But where I think it becomes unrealistic is people aren't willing to fucking put in the work to make $1 million in a year. Like, I know I wasn't, right? I probably am still not, right? Like, I have a certain level of comfort I've learned to enjoy, and I honestly don't want to work too hard, right? But a lot of people, they don't want to work so hard. They're not willing to put in the time and effort, but they want that $1 million in a year. Does that make sense? And so, from that context of, are you willing to put in the work? From that context, their goal is unrealistic. The timeline, not the goal, but the timeline is unrealistic. So then, but they set that goal anyway, right? And so they come to me and they say, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this money, I want to achieve this goal, right? And I'm like, well, what really makes you happy? Are you doing that just to get away from pain? Are you doing that to get out of that crappy job, that crappy boss, that whatever, that crappy situation you're in, crappy life you're living? Or are you doing it because it's going to fulfill you? Are you doing it because the process of achieving that goal is actually going to make you feel alive, it's going to fulfill you? I think that's far more important to think about. And so as Gary Vee says, one of the things he said is eat shit for, a few years so you can have the caviar, right? So eat shit for 4 or 5 years so you can have caviar for the rest of your life. That's one of the things he said before in one of his videos, or in a few of his videos. But then he also goes on to say, for him personally, the shit is the caviar, right? The shit is the caviar. What does that mean? It means that he enjoys the process so much that shitty process, like, grinding, 8-10 hours a day of meeting after meeting, of jumping on 4 flights and traveling from this city to that city, that work, that hard work, he enjoys that. That to him is the caviar. He loves the process so much that he gives it everything. And so I think that's the perspective that's more valuable for us to come from. You know, like I said, it took me 20 years to figure that out, 20 years to even accept that. Because I too was going after the money. I too was, you know, hoping that this goal and that goal and this amount of money is going to change my life and get me out of such shitty situations. But then I started, I did the work. You know what I did the work on? I didn't do the work on achieving the goal. I did the work in understanding what makes me happy. Understanding the boundaries and limits of how much I'm willing to do, right? How much work I'm willing to put in. That's the work I put in. I put in work to become self-aware enough to understand how much I'm willing to work and what really is going to make me happy. And so now I spend my time doing that. I spend my time in the things that make me happy. So the things I spend my time in nowadays, a lot of the time, they are not like in the short term, at least in the short term, the things I do spend most of my time on, they're not ROI positive. I don't see money in the stuff I do. You know, making these videos for you, like, where the fuck's the money? There's no money in this, right? But I love doing it. I love shooting this video. I mean, okay, it's a great location, right? It's windy, it's cloudy, but I'm on a beach. I'm on an island, and I love being able to shoot these videos for you, coming fresh off my coaching calls, and having some profound insight that a client got, right? And then that reinforced my understanding of it. So I get off the call and I want to fucking share this with you. I love the process of, you know, it takes me this is 7.5 minute video now. It will take me between an hour and a half to 2 hours to edit this content because I'm super slow, and cut it up. You know, one for Facebook, one for Instagram, maybe for YouTube, maybe into a podcast. I don't know. It's going to take me 2 to 3 hours to do this. What do I get from it? Financially, nothing, right? But I love it. So the shit is the caviar in this case for me. So for some people, once you figure this out, right? For some people, living on a beach is not caviar, right? Living on a beach on an island is not. For some people like me, it is. For example, for Gary Vaynerchuk, the caveat is doing the meetings, back-to-back meetings, and is bouncing around the world, doing keynotes and stuff like that, inspiring people. It's putting in the work. He loves that full-on entrepreneur lifestyle. He loves that, right? For me, I don't, right? I mean, I do want the money, but I'm not chasing the money anymore. I think that's the distinction, right? It's okay to want the money, but if you chase the money only because you think that money is going to save you and get you out, then find a better purpose, right? Stop doing that, right? Stop chasing the money and instead put in the time and figure out what's going to make you happy and then go do that. I think you'll be far more fulfilled. You don't have to wait for that money goal to be achieved before you start feeling fulfilled and happy and living it up, right? You can start living it up right now. You can start being happy right now. You can start feeling fulfilled right now if you go out and do the things that make you happy now. Cool? I hope this has been super valuable for you. Please take this in. Spend time figuring out what's going to make you happy, what does make you happy, and if you don't know yet, go find out. Go find out what you'd be willing to invest time in every single day doing and not giving a shit about the ROI, not giving a shit about the money you're going to make for it. What's that thing? Go figure that out. And then go do that. Or maybe not do that for 8-10 hours a day, but spend an hour a day doing that. Right? If you can spend an hour a day, then you're going to be so much more happy and fulfilled for at least that hour of the day. True? Cool. Please comment your distinctions. Share this video with whoever you think needs to hear it. I think most people need to hear it. Like I said, this amount of time putting in to shoot this video and go and edit this video and put it out for you, I get nothing from it. The only thing I want to get from it is that you go do your thing and you go do what makes you happy. That's the only thing I want to get from making this video for you. So please go share this video. All right. Thank you. Once again, I appreciate you for following me. I appreciate you for watching my videos. I appreciate the likes, the comments, the shares. This is Mahendra Raj. Until the next coaching mini insight, go create and live the life of your dreams.